Good morning, everyone. So today topic is chapter 9, merchandising department. Topic is lab dip. What is lab dip? So small piece of fabric is dyed in the lab to develop the recipe to achieve the color standard which is received from the buyer as CAD on paper, referring the Pantone color shades so that they can follow the same to dye the bulk fabric. So before we start the bulk fabric dye, we have to develop the color standard which we get it from buyer as a CAD, computer aided design. Right? It means on paper. And the color, they choose the color, like suppose green color is there and red color is there. So that color, Pantone color code is internationally acceptable. Okay, so everyone has that. Buyer also has the Pantone colors shade book, and we also have. Factory also have. So shade band, the Pantone colors, they mention the color code. They like suppose 302. The color Pantone color to achieve the lab dip color. So lab dip is a small piece of fabric. Maybe it's just 10 by 10 centimeter of fabric. We dye in the lab to achieve the desired color, and they document that recipe. If lab dip is approved, same recipe will go for production, bulk production to uh, dye the bulk fabric. In this process, buyer need color lab dip for approval before start dyeing the fabric or yarn. Normally, solid fabric is a dyed fabric. We call it as a piece dyed fabric. It means knitting and weaving is done on the RFD natural yarn, and that ready for dyeing. So that is gone into the mill to dye. Dip can be 10 by 10 centimeter dyeing and then cut by 3 by 3 centimeter for buyer to take an approval from buyer. These lab dips merchant has to send to buyer for color standard approval. So lab dip, there are two ways to achieve the fabric color. Method 1, fabric piece dyed after knitting or weaving the gray fabric, then it goes to the mill for dyeing to achieve the color standard as I explained to you, right? Method 2, first yarn dyed and fabric is weaved. Or based on Pantone colors, we have to dye the yarn and take the approval on that yarn, making that small bit loom and small desk loom, and then go for buyer for approval. Okay, so this is for solid, as I mentioned, it is piece dyed, fabric dyed. So this yarn dyed goes for checks and stripes. This method is only for plaid, check and stripes. For solid fabric, it is always dyed after weaving or knitting, right? So now we are explaining how to check the lab dips when it comes from a factory before sending to buyer. And this is just a video we are making. So, but when you check the lab dips, it has to be on the dark room. So this is original standard. We got it for this color, the interlock fabric, 50s mercerized, 100% cotton. So these are the fabric quality. Based on that fabric quality, this is the standard we got it for color. And now we got it A, B, C, three colors from factory. So we have to see if they are matching with the standard or not. If they are matching, then we can send it to buyer, and after buyer they will choose out of three, maybe one is okay. So how to check? We This is original fabric, so this is A. So when we check, and it is always checked by the people who was certified from the buyer. Buyer give the certification for color matching test. They take the test. So this is A. It looks slightly yellower. So this looks slightly redder. So this looks slightly bluish. So we have to write our comments. If it is not matching, reject and send it to the factory. But if it is close, then we can write our comments and send it to buyer. And once buyer has approved, suppose buyer has approved option B. So we can tell factory follow option B to proceed with the bulk fabric. So this is how lab dip is being checked. Any question? कोई question नहीं है? Okay. Okay. Thanks for watching.